Hi, Ian, as well. Okay. So we're just getting all the stuff set up.
Yeah.
And we'll wait maybe just a couple of minutes. Maybe I've got a wine here. Ramak's got a wine. Grab yourself a wine, sit back and relax, and then we'll do something. Okay. All right. Okay. So just getting everything set up. I know.
It's weird.
Yeah. Um, mm.
Yeah, I think. Okay, we will.
Oh, I can't see both those things at the same time.
No, that's okay, though.
Yeah. And then we can do the poem there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, but first we'll do this one. Oh, so first it's this one. Yeah.
So if you're back to the Facebook, we can see how many people there are.
Oh, yeah, we can see there's 12 people.
Okay, so maybe we can start, guys. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. So this is like just happened last night. We decided to do. Cameron decided to do that, and
Well,
I
but
joined it.
you had the idea.
I had
so-
the idea, but
yeah.
I didn't know it's gonna happen. I had the
That's
idea.
right. I just went,
So-
let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, let's do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, what's happening tonight? Yeah, so my
What
name
is
is
it?
Ramak.
Oh, yes, and I'm Cameron.
Yeah.
And this is the Persian and the poet. So, the Persian and the poet. And, you know, you're a bit of a poet too. So, you're the Persian and the poet at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
so,
good.
yeah.
Okay, I take it.
And we're just going to share two poems, but they'll be in English and in Farsi. So I don't think it'll be super long. Like, I don't know, it might be 15, 20 minutes or something. Maybe I'll ask a few questions about it because for me as a poet, I mean, I love writing poetry. I love poetry. And one of the beautiful things about meeting Ramak is that, like, to find that poetry in the Persian culture, in the Iranian culture, is still just, it has currency in the way that it doesn't in the Western world and in the English speaking world, that poets are still really treasured in the Persian culture, in the Iranian culture. And so that's been a beautiful connection between us. Just actually enjoying poetry and sharing poetry has been something really beautiful for me. And so I've written poems, and one of the beautiful things that Ramak has done is she's translated some of them into Farsi. And for me, that's just so fascinating because I've read a lot about the translation of poetry. And really, translating poetry into another language is one of the hardest things you can do. Because poems, yes, as you've done it. So, because poems, yes, there you go. Because poems often they don't easily literally translate. That they can be so to do with the feelings, the connotations of words, the suggestion rather than directly saying something. And also, often they're on the edge of language. And so to translate that can be very difficult. But on top of that, so much of poetry uses things like meter, rhyme, alliteration, and they are very, sometimes impossible to recreate in another language. And so you have to decide when you're translating a poem, well, what's the most important? The core sentence, but also how do I say that beautifully or rhythmically? How do I reflect that from the original poem? So I've always been really fascinated with translation of poetry. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, that was really fascinating. I did that. That was the first time actually, but you know, just playing with words. So obviously English is my second language, and you know, I'm not too close to the mother tongue language at the moment, unfortunately. So that's a really good chance to get connected again and play with the words and do those stuff. I really, it's so challenging, but in the same time, I really enjoying that, doing that. But it's hard, it's hard. So what we're gonna do tonight, and we're sharing Farsi and English. So I'm gonna introduce one of the really good poets from Iran. Her name is Farooq Farrokhzad, and I'm a huge fan of her. And then Cameron is going to share it in English.
Yeah.
So we decided to pick not a long poem of her because normally her poems a bit long.
Yeah.
Because you know you guys don't get tired, don't get bored. And I'm gonna say hello to all like all Iranians or people from Afghanistan or whoever who is here doesn't speak English. Salam.
Oh yes, do a little intro in
امیدوارم
Farsi.
همه خوب باشین. مرسی که اومدین. اینجا من و کامرون میخوایم به اشتراک بذاریم زبان فارسی، زبان انگلیسی و شعر رو، چون کامرون شاعره و منم که یکی از چندی از شعراشو ترجمه کردم و من شعر فارسی رو میخونم، کامرون شعر انگلیسی رو طبیعتاً، و اینکه یه شعر از فروغ فرخزاد هستش که من میخونم و کامرون ترجمه انگلیسیش رو میخونه و امیدوارم لذت برین، حوصلتون سر نره، حتما شراب بخورین چون حال میده.
Okay, so salamati.
سلامتی.
Salamati. All right. So let's. Well, do we want to start with my poem first, and then do your translation?
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
this is a poem I wrote. When was it? December. And it's called "As I Stand on the Edge of the Park." So here we go. The first poem. The willow weeps. This willow on the edge of the park, I see it weeping every time I visit. And yet, hidden behind its waterfall of green tears is growth. So much growth. And strength enough to stand against any gale. And in this golden light of day's end, I stop to watch its weeping more closely. And I see its long, thin branches bending so far, but not breaking. And I see my Persian lover, a willow, weeping. And here I am, a new stream cutting through the parched earth to where she stands. Me, a whole new source of love to quench and indulge. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
So that was my original poem, and now we're going to have the translation by Ramak Bamzar.
Yeah, and I think for you guys, you don't know Farsi. I think it's nice to hear it in Farsi because the poem and poetry is all about emotions and feelings, and I hope you can feel it even in Farsi. So there we go. همانطور که در لبه پارک ایستادم، درخت بید میگرید. هر زمان که به دیدنش میروم، بید لبه پارک را میبینم که میگرید و همچنان پنهان در پشت آبشاری از اشک‌های سبزش محکم و استوار ایستاده در برابر هر طوفانی. و من در این تلألؤ طلایی پایان روز نزدیکتر میشوم تا گریستنش را تماشا کنم. میبینم که شاخه‌های بلند و نازکش چطور خمیدند ولی هنوز تاب ایستادن دارند. و من دلداده ایرانیم را میبینم، بید گریان را، درست جایی که ایستاده است. چشمی زمین تفتیده را میشکافد و من که سرچشمه یک عشق تازه ام، خاموشم و سرخوش.
That sounds so beautiful.
Thank you.
What in that translation, what really works for you? Is there something that's really beautiful, or something that really works in Farsi?
Maybe when I say هر زمان که به دیدنش میروم، بید لبه پارک را میبینم که میگرید، پنهان و همچنان پنهان در پشت آبشاری از اشک‌های سبزش, which is like where is in the poem.
Oh right.
The willow is crying.
The willow is crying.
The age of yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hidden behind the green tears. So
hidden behind the green tears. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that part. So.
Well, thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. And for me, it's such a privilege to have a poem, you know, brought into another language. So yeah, it's beautiful. So beautiful. So now we're going to do it the other way around. So we're going to have a Farsi poem, and then there's an English translation that I didn't do because I know a couple of words in Farsi and that's all. So it's a translation. But I'll tell you by who it is soon. So but we'll get the Farsi version up here. Do you need the title as well? Is that the
No,
title?
that's fine.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, so
Okay, what is that?
this is I say it in Farsi and then Cameron
That's
can
right.
introduce it in English though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a poem from in شعر از فروغ فرخزاد و اسمش هم هست که پرنده مردنی است و یه شعر خب همتون میدونین یه شعر خیلی معروفه ولی فکر می‌کردم به حال و هوای این روزا بیشتر میخوره خودم هم خیلی باش همزاد پنداری دارم دلم گرفته است به ایوان میروم و انگشتانم را بر پوست کشیده شب میکشم چراغ‌های رابطه تاریکند کسی مرا به آفتاب معرفی نخواهد کرد کسی مرا به میهمانی گنجشک‌ها نخواهد برد پرواز را به خاطر بسپار پرنده مردنی است.
Well, for me, it sounds like a magic spell being laid across me. It sounds so
because
beautiful.
you're so lovely. Thank you.
So that's and here's the English translation of that.
Yeah.
The title is "The Bird May Die." I feel sad. I feel blue. I go outside and rub my cold fingers on the sleek shell of the silent night. I see that all lights of contact are dark. All lanes to relate us are blocked. Nobody will introduce me to the sun. Nobody will take me to the gathering of doves. Keep the flight in mind. The bird may die.
Yeah, the translation.
What did you think of the translation? Does that?
Oh yeah, it's such a super simple poem. Like
Yeah.
it looks really simple, but it's beautiful. So we will share hopefully.
Well, tell me
more
why
poems.
did you choose that one?
Oh, I think it's just like I feel so connected to this poem, and I feel like it's my own experience as well, and even like in these days, like with COVID and isolation and the darkness, maybe so many of us unfortunately experience it.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel it's a writing, and in the same time, it was a short poem.
Yeah, right.
It was short enough to just do it in the short time. So.
But I like it. Totally relates now. All the lights of contact are dark. All lanes to relate us are blocked. I mean, that is just totally Melbourne at the moment. And, who will introduce me to the sun? I mean, that's totally Melbourne in winter anyway. Let alone now. But I was just going to ask. So nobody will take me to the gathering of doves. Does that have any particular cultural meaning? What is that a particular event or anything?
Like
or is it
sparrows in always they important like in the culture. I think in the poetry, even in art, like they meaningful, but okay, I don't know, I cannot say 100%
what the gathering of doves is. Is it just something that's so beautiful, like somebody
like
take me to a beautiful
take me to the celebration, happiness, you know, just the light. It's all dark here, like there's nobody going to just introduce me to the light and happiness again. So and
wow. And that I actually really like the second last line, like keep the flight in mind, which is really, for me, that's really interesting. Like if you think of what the bird is, like the birds represent joy or freedom. You know, it's about keeping that freedom in mind, or joy in mind.
Like remember the fly, because when you fly, I think for me, it's just you are free. It's freedom. So just remember the freedom, because it's not gonna be forever.
Well, there you go. That's all we planned for tonight. Just wanted to
Yeah.
share a couple of poems, but basically we're going to do this. I don't know. You probably know we're in Melbourne. Melbourne's in its first week of a 6-week stage 4 lockdown, which is pretty severe. And I think most of us, because we've already been in lockdown for so long, most people are feeling it, really intensely. And I was definitely earlier this week. I was feeling it really badly, and actually, I didn't quite tell you this. So I had a beautiful chat with Rod Gear, who's a dear friend of mine, and he was just saying, Cameron, of course you feel down. You need to share. You need to share poems. You need to
Yeah.
perform. That's who you are. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then you
Yeah.
said exactly the same thing. And that's why I thought, oh, why don't we just do this? I don't know, share
Yeah, I
some
think
poems.
yeah, the isolation is gonna be is so hard for those people. They
Yeah.
would like,
Mm.
they really love to connect to others.
Yeah.
For chatty people like
Yeah,
me,
yeah, that's right.
so I'm a chatterbox, and I can't just be at home by myself, and I need to feel people. I need to. I miss hugging people so much, and that's just so crazy.
It's okay. It's okay. So
Yeah, hopefully we will back to.
yeah, so basically we're going to do this every Friday night at 8 o'clock. Share a couple of poems in English and Farsi. So come back and join us again. And tell your friends, invite your friends. And I'm pretty sure, this is the first time I've done a proper live video. I'm pretty sure this will just go on to my Facebook stream, so you should be able to watch it later. I'm presuming. So, so
Yeah, but I thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I know we
we
had-
had 13
oh,
viewers.
did we get to 13? Okay, yeah.
Oh, and people said,
Oh,
they said
sorry, we
hello. We're sorry we missed that.
Oh, so
Yeah.
here we are. Sondi,
Yeah.
hi. Brendan, hi. Stuart, yo. And Marula, oh, thank you for joining us. And
Thank you so
there's my
much.
mum. Hi, mum. Thanks. Daniel, hi. And thank you for sharing it.
Thank you
Sorry,
so
we didn't
much.
see the chat. We weren't watching the chat, so just seeing the chat now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good. We had so many comments.
oh, that's beautiful. So thank you for joining us, and just if you want more, we'll just come back next week. That'll be super sweet. So so I'm gonna end it there, and just say thank you very much. Okay.
Thank
And good
you.
night from the Persian and the poets.
Have a good night.